Hi, I'm Jean Nolte, editor at Fons & Porter.
And I'm Colleen Tauke. I'm the sewing specialist with Fons & Porter. In this tutorial, we will be talking about the blocks in Americana stars.
To get the pattern for this quilt, go to shopfonsandporter.com/quiltingquickly. Well, this is a little patriotic table topper, and it's basically a 9-patch of stars. So what you need is 5 10-inch squares of blue and 4 10-inch squares of red. And the first thing you're going to want to do is decide
which one goes in the center.
Which blue is going to be your center. And then you'll pair up a red and a blue. And if you notice, this block and this block have the same 2 fabrics in them. They're just reversed. So that's what's going to happen. You need to pair up your fabrics, and they're going to stay together
throughout the quilt.
Yep, to make the block. So we're going to get this out of the way. That might be.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do is take one of your pairs of squares, and stack them both right sides up.
Right sides up, yep.
And I've already done this, but you're going to lay your ruler, and this direction is important, and it's in your the instructions for the quilt. You'll lay it on here and cut them apart like this.
Now, if you just follow the diagrams very closely, it'll tell you what direction to make the cuts. It's not so important of the steepness of the angle, it says that you work from, say, in this case, from the right-hand side to the top border, slicing across.
Okay, so we've separated them
And mismatched them.
and put one of each fabric in each pile. So now we've cut 1-inch strips, and we're going to put that in between here. Do you like to do the big side first or the little side?
Doesn't matter to me. Straight seams are straight seams. Here we go.
All right, so we're going to put those 2 right sides together, make it stick out about the same distance on each end.
The reason why they're going to be a little longer is at the very end, we're going to be able to cut our blocks down to the size that we need. So, 1/4-inch seam. Try to be as accurate as possible. The strips are cut 1 inch, and we're going to be taking out a 1/4 inch both sides, so that means that there's just going to be a 1/2 inch of fabric remaining in that stripe that you see outlining the stars.
All right, so once you get that in there, we're going to press it toward the light strip. She's going to give it a finger press.
I like to just give it a little nudge so that I know that I've opened that seam all the way up. Jean's going to press it there.
Take a peek, make sure it looks good.
Flat.
Yeah. All right, so I'm getting, just give it a little steam there. Make it lie flat. All right. Now you're ready to put the other piece in, and if you just lay this up against here, you can see it seems like it sort of sticks out a little bit on each side, and you want to make it about equal. Then just flip it over.
Right sides together.
Right sides, and there you go.
And I'm always going to sew with the light side up, because the other side, and you cut that, it's now a bias edge, and if I put it underneath,
yeah, that kind of keeps it stable.
right, because those little light colored strips are cut straight of grain, and they won't stretch, so we put those on the top. We won't get distortion in our block.
Right, and so
Finish that off, 1/4 inch.
when you're done with that, we're going to also press that seam toward the white or the cream strip.
We come in here, and we're going to press these towards the light. The idea is that the seam allowances will kind of ride underneath that ridge and kind of make that outline of the star kind of pop out.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit bigger ridge in the end there. So.
Kind of gives it a little texture.
Little end is tricky.
Seam ones down, there we go.
All right, so
You're going to be repeating this process throughout the block. So once you get this little seaming down, you're going to repeat it over and over.
all right. The next thing you would do, of course, is the same thing in this pair. And we're going to want to trim that off. You can either put a ruler up here and trim off that end and side, or you could do it with scissors.
You can use it with scissors
and
too.
if you see this one, it looks like the blue's a little bit taller than the red one, so I would cut it out there with the blue. We're going to trim these blocks later. So once you've gotten those
Done both
sewn
sets
together,
of those, then it's on to step 2.
so we'll keep them in the same order. It's going to look like that. So you're ready for your next cut.
So you stack them on top of each
So-
other, right sides up. Keep everybody looking at you.
Yep, always keep them facing the same direction or you'll have a problem. So this time you're going to make another cut.
Again, follow the diagrams in your pattern because they're
Leave a little bit, yeah, here
great
on this
graphics.
bottom corner. You want this end of the ruler to go right through the middle of that light strip.
you
So
can
I
cut
have
through.
ones that we've,
We've already added that
oh no, I
cream
want to
coat.
cut that one.
Oh, we're going to cut it? Okay, sure.
I'm actually going to cut that
That
one.
way you can see it. Again, it's not so important the steepness on the angle that you're going to do because this can swing anywhere along here as long as you go through the cream strip
Right,
on
so
the
I just want
left-hand
to make
side.
sure that these are pretty much lined up, the corners are lined up. That looks like a nice angle. I'm going to hold that down. I'm going to put that on a heavier, and I'm just going to cut right through there. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like.
And you're
Oops.
going to rearrange strips. You're going to replace the bottoms, bottom of one, top of the other.
All right, so then we're going to do the same thing.
Adding a cream strip through there. And then, with the magic of TV, Jean has pieces
Okay.
that have those added to them.
So it's starting to look like a star.
At one point.
So now we're going to stack these up again. Doesn't matter which one's on top, but they both need to face upward.
Right side up.
Okay. And we're going
Those
to
are
make...
they're already cut in the next stack if you just want to show
Oh,
them
look at that.
how it looks.
We don't have to cut this one. All
I
right.
got a few of them done ahead. There are a lot of
So,
stars.
We're gonna, all right, you see how that is? So that's the same.
We're going to cut through the center of this cream strip towards the top of the block.
And I notice here, and I noticed it on the last one too, so there's a little bit of that cream triangle left here when you cut it. If you just pull on it, there's only a couple stitches.
Yeah,
that-
gently. You can
It'll come
take
off
that
and
out.
then you don't have that big lump.
Okay, so once you've cut these, again, remember to rearrange pieces. Don't put them back together in the same order. Why do I know how to do that?
Yeah, so you'll again have
two
two
blocks.
blocks.
You're always working on 2 blocks at a time.
and
You're replacing those strips.
you'll go ahead.
So I bet you have some that look just like
Yeah.
that, don't you?
I have
underneath
them,
there.
right?
This is one, again, where you may want to work on just 2 blocks at a time.
I
Get
would
those-
definitely do 2 blocks
give
at a time.
Give yourself enough time to sew, work on those 2 blocks, those done, accomplish those, and then take a little break, come back and do 2 more.
And this is a case where you're going to have to follow the instructions and the diagrams that show you exactly how to cut.
Now, this is the point when I was working on them and I looked at it and I went, really? Am
doesn't-
I right?
Looks like a butterfly, not a star.
Exactly. But you're going to stack those pieces up and you're going to make another cut.
So you see, here we go. I have them like that. This time you're going to cut and go through the center of that cream strip and then just
down to the
angle down
bottom
here.
border this time.
And then once again,
Cut, rearrange. Cut, rearrange.
and each time after you've put that cream strip in there, you're trimming them off.
just
even
just
with
to
the
kinda get
edges.
those out of the way.
Yeah.
Gives you a little cleaner works.
All right. So
Block.
if we put,
Now it is going to look like, do you have one
So-
to insert?
here they are.
The star is starting to appear.
There's the finished one.
Okay.
And so now it does look like it's possible. It's going
Yes, we've
going to
gone
be
from
a
butterfly
star.
to looking like we're getting closer to that star. Again, we're going to stack these up.
Okay, and you're going to
And-
make a cut this
Right.
time that goes
You're going
through
to
the corner
connect
there.
2 lights. So from the outer corner at the top to the lower point at the bottom there.
This time it's going through both cream
This is
strips.
the last bar. You're almost there.
All right, so now
Rearrange strips.
this time,
Cut, rearrange.
put that over there,
Everybody
put
matched
that
up?
over there. Look at that.
You know you're right when the center matches the outer background of the block.
know,
So
this-
navy,
yeah.
navy, navy, navy,
This
navy.
is a technique that was developed by Liz Porter, And she called it Lucky Stars because she said when you make the final cut and you rearrange them and you set them out like this, if you've got stars, you're lucky.
Okay.
So she called hers Lucky Stars.
So here we have.
Here is what your 2 finished blocks look like at this point. Now,
Repeat that process.
you've
through all your blocks.
you'll do that 4 times, so you have 8 blocks. But these are not a nice square size. So
And things may have slid to the side just a little bit. And so don't worry about this edge is perfect at this point. You're going to size them up.
So I'm going to do this one at a time. And I happen to have a ruler that's 9.5 inches, which is exactly the size we want to cut them, but you could use a bigger ruler. And it isn't all that important to really center it, but I try to do that because there's enough of the cream strips that they will still go clear out to the edge. So I'm going to just put my 9.5 inch ruler on my block, and I'm
Always cut away from yourself across the top so that
give that a
little haircut.
trim on that side, and then I can also trim across the top. Oops. See if it got through that thick part. Nope, a little bit more. Okay.
Helps to have a really sharp blade.
Yeah. And then we're going to turn it around.
Rotate.
This time I'm going to line up the edges of the ruler with those 2 edges I just cut.
Or the 9.5 inch line if you're using a larger ruler. We collect lots of sizes of rulers over the years that we're quilting.
And then I'm going to cut across the top. Double check to make sure I got through all that, and I did.
Yes, you did. Very good.
And there you go. So there's your finished block. You just need 8 of these all together, and of course you lay them out alternately with the red and the blue.
Put
Make
your
a 9 patch.
solid navy blue in the center, and you have created Americana stars. Thanks for joining us today.
To see more of our videos, go to video.fonsandporter.com.